It seems that since the Great American Eclipse, events are moving so swiftly that there is confusion over the interpretations of celestial signs. This star they call the Star of Jacob that appears in October 2024 is said to be the same as the Star of Bethlehem, and therefore to Christians and Messianic Jews, it signals the rapture or second coming, while to some rabbis it announces the coming of a Jewish Messiah. This Messiah is someone other than our Redeemer, who is seated at the right hand of his Father. The prophecy of the Star of Jacob is found in the book of Numbers. I see him, but not now. I behold him, but not near. A star is emerging from Jacob. A scepter is rising from Israel, and it smashes the brow of Moab and the foundation of all the sons of Seth. But this is no sign of Jacob, because T Coronae Borealis is located in the Northern Crown constellation and sits in the Northern Hemisphere. If this was the Star of Bethlehem, it would appear in the Southern Hemisphere, since it is there that we see the celestial sign of the cross as a witness, just in case they claim the Messiah never existed. And it is in the south that we find Mount Zion, Bethlehem, and Nazareth. And let us not forget that the Archangel Michael is the Prince of the South. Furthermore, when we consider the power at work in the earth, we must never forget that the Most High has descended to his mount in the south, making Africa a very dangerous place indeed, while his adversary Satan has come down, knowing he has but a short time, and sits in opposition on the sides of the north. As it is written, "For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north." This mount of the congregation in the sides of the north is Mount Hermon, where the fallen angels descended. This seems to be a distraction. What we ought to be focused on are events following the Great American Eclipse. If you watched part 1, you will recall that in addition to the 10 plagues of Egypt, there would be the fires of Sodom and the floods of Noah, earthquakes and tempest, and we have seen fires, floods and tempest in California and North Carolina on an unprecedented scale. I was shaken when that word came, but no sooner had I come to terms with the severity of the judgments. An eclipse in October 2024 on the Feast of Trumpets would lead me to the judgments announced by the 7 trumpets of Revelation. I have learned from Joel and Zephaniah that prior to the day of the Lord, there is the blowing of the trumpet and the sounding of the alarm, because it is a day of trouble and distress, a day of thick darkness and not light. We are warned that as each of the 7 trumpet sounds, hail and fire mixed with blood will fall, which is similar to the 7th plague in Egypt. Then, a third of the sea became blood, and the creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. This happened during the first plague in Egypt. Then, on the 3rd trumpet, a great star falls from heaven, blazing like a torch. Its name is Wormwood, and it poisons a third of the waters, causing death to many. When this begins, we must enter into our chambers and hide ourselves until the indignation be overpassed. Fasting, prayer, and praise will be our sword, so we can hear the instructions of the Spirit more clearly. When the plagues fall, fear will cover the earth. But you have been warned of what is to come, because the day of your redemption draws near. The Most High bless you all.